must be the town of Woodward. So as we get closer, I keep zooming this thing in more so that it gives me a bigger, better picture. And I'm doing the same thing over here, kind of keep the screws.
Number 5 Tango Whiskey, descend and maintain 6,000, the Wichita altimeter 29908.
Yep, I got it. And Kansas City Center, 6-0, almost got the field inside. We can cancel IFR at this time.
Number 6 Sierra Romeo, IFR cancellation received. Squawk maintain VFR, pre-change crew, good day.
All right, sir, thank you for your help. See ya.
Sky West 5033, contact Denver Center 133.4. Number 887 Whiskey, if not there.
Okay, we're squawking VFR. We don't have to talk to him anymore. We switch over to the local frequency, and we're going to let them know what we're doing here. And West Woodward traffic, Sirius 5860 Romeo. It looks like we're about 8 miles to the east. We're going to enter a left downwind for our 17 full stop West Woodward. Okay, the airport is at 2,200 feet. Pattern altitude is 3,200 feet. So I've set our altitude bug for 3,200 feet. That's going to take us down there and then level us off. That should catch us right about where we need to start turning.
The airport, where that, I think it's a water tower.
Yeah, where you see that water tower, that's where I think the airport is. Yeah, I think I see the end of the runway. That's where I was guessing the airport was. Okay. And since we're VFR, that's why I went ahead and counseled with him and kind of fibbed to him. Said, yeah, I've got the field sign. I just didn't want to keep me up high, and then we had to drop down real fast. Okay, so there's our 4,000 feet. I'm on the fullest tank, boost pump's coming on, and then what I'll do, Colin, is I'll put my feet up on the top of them pedals and I'll push on them. Make sure I've got brake pressure. Make sure nothing happened while we were flying and we lost the brakes. If we did, I know I'm going to have to use every bit of that runway to get stopped. But if I got brakes, I know where I can land just about anywhere on it and be okay.
No brakes, how many feet can you land in?
It depends on how much of a headwind you had. If we had a little bit of a headwind, you can stop in 2,000 feet. But if you didn't have a headwind, the winds were calm, it's going to take probably all 4,000 feet, yeah. Because you're gonna, as soon as you land, you're gonna lift your flaps all the way up, and then that way that puts all the weight on the ground, and that'll help it slow down. But there's no reverse thrusters or anything on this thing.
That's one reason I picked the Encore. It's because of reverse thrusters.
Yeah, you can get her woed up.
There's several of those jets that don't have them.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to heading mode. I'll sync up my bug. I'll go to heading mode. Now I'm going to start turning. And West Woodward track, Sirius 5860 Romeo. We're entering the left downwind for our 17 full stop, West Woodward. Okay. When I'm out here, Colin, what I'm looking for is I want to make sure my speed doesn't get down too low. But I'm wanting to be able to see the runway from my seat off the tip of my wing. So right now I'm a little bit close, so I'll run it out here a little bit further before I start this next turn. And I won't start the turn till it's about 45 degrees off my shoulder. So I need to get it slowed down because I want to bleed out. I want to start getting some flaps in. I'm going to take it out a little bit further because I was a little bit tight. I'm going to kill the autopilot. I'm going to hold us here until I get that below 119. Then my first notch of flaps is coming in. You'll feel this kind of balloon up. I'm going to start making my base turn. And West Woodward traffic, Sirius 5860 Romeo. We're on a left base for a 17 full stop, West Woodward. Okay, now here, I don't want to get below 100 knots. I don't want this arrow to point past that little bar right there, or I'm making my turn too tight and I'll lose this left wing and quit wanting to fly.
Yes.
So now that I see I'm kind of squaring up, I'm gonna hold my altitude for a little bit so I can get the rest of my flaps in. I want 104, there they are. So I throw the rest of the flaps in. Now I'm configured, now I just gotta line up and get my speed close to 90, 100 to 90 as I get close. And West Woodward traffic, Cirrus 586 Sierra Romeo, we're on a short final for a 1-7, full stop, West Woodward. Okay, we got brakes, we got boost pumps on, all the flaps in. Now we're just trying to fly this thing down to the runway. I'm kind of looking at those lights. Some airports have them, some airports won't. On the left-hand side there, I don't want to see them all red. That would mean I'm kind of low. But if they're all white, that means I'm high. So you kind of see how that one's kind of starting to turn in red now. That means we're getting kind of on our path. I'm looking at that. I'm watching my speed.
One on the left's all white.
Yeah. You want it to be. Well, there's 4 of them. There should be.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
There should be 2 whites and 2 reds if you're ideal. Now I'm a little bit low according to it, so if we were in the clouds and in the soup, I wouldn't want to be this low, but since we can see it, I'm not terribly worried about it. And as I get close to the numbers, this is when I start pulling my power back. I know the runway's made now. Now I can pull it back to idle. Once I get to about here, I quit looking here and I look down at the other end of the runway. I'm just keeping it off the ground as long as I can until I feel it touch down. That's it.
Pretty easy.
And usually about here, the jet, you wouldn't do this. On this plane, though, I bring my flaps up because that puts more weight on those wheels and it makes it get slower.
Yeah.
Those flaps are kind of keeping air pressure underneath it and keeping the plane up. And now I'm going back to steering with my feet. Alt 2 comes off. Like I said, flaps are up, boost pump stays on. And I just want to make sure my RPM stay above 1,000 or if I pull it back too low, I could kill the motor. And let's see if we have a taxiway down here. Yeah, we're gonna have to go all the way to the end and turn back in. That was pretty easy. The wind was coming almost straight down the runway, so we weren't doing any of this quartering. A lot of times you'll have a quartering wind, so you'll kind of have to crab it in, so you'll be flying in sideways, and then right at the end you push on the bottom of those pedals to kick that back in the way you want it to go and square it up right before you land, so you're not landing sideways and side loading the landing gear. Somebody's building them a new hangar.
Big one, too.
Yeah. And West Woodward traffic, Cirrus 586 Sierra Romeo, we're clear of the runway.
Who built that hangar?
6 Sierra Romeo, this is West Woodward Unicom. Will you need this today and park it for a while?
We're going to be overnight, sir. We will need fuel, and we may need to borrow a crew car off of you.
All right. Do you want to park it in the hangar?
If you're good with that, I sure am. And then you can just fuel up tomorrow if that's easy for you. I think we're going to be departing somewhere early afternoon, something like that.
Okay, that's up to you. It's $35 a night, whichever way you want it. We can either tie it down or put it in.
Nope. Let's put it in for that. That's cheap enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you want to use self-serve, or do you want us to fill it from the truck?
I'll let you guys fill it up, and so you just park me wherever you want, and then you can fill it, and if you want to tug it in, I trust you.
All right, we'll have you come over here in front of the big gang hangar.
Copy that, sir. I'm assuming they're talking about that one. So that's a newer version to Bill's plane. Okay.
They got plenty of good cars.
Yeah, I think he'll probably let us borrow one, especially if we're paying for hangar space.
$35, it's worth that.
Heck yeah.